I'm Mando Fresco. Welcome to Mando and Friends. I'm here with one of the most beautiful and talented singers. Ladies and gentlemen, Chesca.
What's up, everyone? Thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm really excited. We've been trying to make this happen for a while, and I'm excited that this finally happened here, Chesca.
I know. I'm excited. I like this.
You like our plexiglass?
COVID precautions.
We have our guests that have come in prior. They call this the presidential debate plexiglass.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun. So all we need is a fly to land on my head, and we can go viral.
That'd be crazy.
So I wanna talk to you about everything from how you started your career journey to where you're at now. You know, performing on the biggest stages. But let's take it back just a little bit. When do you remember having that first itch to dance, to perform, to sing?
I was 3 when I first discovered that passion, because I grew up listening to Michael and Madonna and Tina, and I was just so impressed by their performing skills that as a little girl, I mean, if you guys check my Instagram and scroll down, there's like a video of me at 3 years old with a microphone dancing to Michael. So I have to say, and my mom is, she used to be a singer when she was young, and my dad is a musician. So I kind of grew up already, even in the wound of my mom, like listening to music. So I think it was just something I was born with that love.
I asked this question to all of my guests. I didn't have a family member that was in media, that was in broadcasting, that was in television or anything like that, or radio. It's interesting, how you grew up, because you did have family members that were passionate about the arts and music, and so the question that I usually ask is, what did your parents say when you first told them that you wanted to do this professionally? So what did your parents tell you?
Well, my story is a little different than just a regular teenager saying, "Dad or Mom, I want to be an artist." I had a situation growing up that music was the only thing that kept my mind off that situation. So when I told them that I wanted to take it seriously, they were very supportive, very excited, because they were like, "Oh my God, this is something that can take her away from this pain that she's going through." So they were extremely supportive, and they're both, musicians. So they were like, "Yes, we're going to live our dreams through you. So let's just push you even harder." So, yeah.
So you mentioned the pain. Talk to me about the pain when you were young.
Well, actually, I started singing really, really young, right? And my dad, who had a band called Flashback before in the past. I'm like mixing the Spanish with the English. I'm like, I used to like almost like forgot how to speak Spanish because I lived in LA for so long, and now that I'm in Miami, I'm like, wait,
por español.
Can I speak inglés? No entiendo.
Hablamos español, inglés, Spanish, lo que quieras. We're all good.
Okay, entonces, so my dad has always been a musician, so ever since I was like 10 years old, I started singing with him in his band. And at 11 years old, I was discovered by this guy, Buddha, who was at the time an executive for Sony. And he saw me as a child singing with my dad in like bars.
Wow.
So in Puerto Rico, things work a little differently. Like you can walk into a bar with your parents. But in this case, I was my dad's lead singer at 10 years old.
Wow.
So, and we would do gigs in like Chili's and Oyster Bar and like just places like that, but it was in the bar area.
That's super cute, by the way.
Yeah. So, and my dad was a total Joe Jackson. Like I would do something wrong and he'd be like, "Francesca." So it was really funny, but I think I think that him being so like aggressive, it made me such a perfectionist and like
Yeah.
always wanting to be perfect and have like 25 rehearsals and everybody's like, you're fine. I'm like, no, one more time.
Yeah.
That's why, like, even last night we went overtime because I was like, no, one more time. No, I'm not happy. One more time. Like, everything for me has to be as perfect as possible as a entertainer. And that's something I learned growing up, being so inspired by Michael Jackson and like, because they were such perfectionists. But anyway, long story short, I get discovered by this man. We get an offer from Sony, and a few months later, I have an accident on a Cinco de Mayo out in the boat with my dad. My dad is a water ski instructor for many years, and I love to water ski as well. So we were out and about on a Cinco de Mayo, celebrating everything that was going on, because as a child, you're like, oh, you're going to get this huge opportunity. And I've been looking at all these stars, like, I want to be just like them. And, I went to the back of the boat and I fell and I hit my head with something in there.
Wow.
And my hair got caught up in the repeller because
propeller,
my dad's boat has the motor in the center of the boat because it's a water ski boat.
Oh man!
So my hair gets caught up there. I go unconscious, and I wake up in the hospital, and 70% of my hair and scalp was scalped.
Wow!
By the motor, and I had a fracture in my scalp. I mean, it was really, really bad. I was unconscious for like a long time. And obviously like that put a big hold in my career and dreams, because it wasn't something that was easy to like, oh, like you lost a little bit of skin and let me just put it back. People that lose a finger, like if they save it and put it in like ice or whatever, you can probably save the finger and sew it back. Right? But with my situation, the skin was left in the boat, and we were so far out that by the time we got back, I was unconscious, but this is what my dad is, telling me. There wasn't enough time to save that. So unfortunately, I had to go through over 14 surgeries, reconstructive surgeries, and a lot of years of, reconstructive surgery, treatments, emotional, physical. And it was just like a very painful time in my life.
How old were you then?
I was 11.
Wow.
When that happened. And it wasn't until I was like 19, like 18, 19, that I was able to start slowly getting back into it, but in the scheme of all that, in the beginning of all of the surgeries at 13, 14, I was like, my parents saw that I was so depressed and like, doing things that I don't want to talk about, that they were like, she needs something. And when I said that I wanted to start singing, they were like so happy that I showed interest in doing something. And it's when I start back in the band with my dad as a teenager, and then other opportunities arise, and then my journey kept going and going. I mean, like my journey is just so long.
Yeah, you know what? I wanna thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah. I think it's a very important part of what my journey has been, because a lot of people tend to quit, due certain situations, or I don't know. And I think that I'm a very good example of persistence and just not giving up. Yeah. No matter what. I had a late start. I wasn't able to start in my teenage years, and then I was like, oh my God, am I too late? Like, can I still do this? And it's now when I'm like more mature that everything is happening, and like that's my biggest message to young people, to like never give up, because you just never know when it's going to happen. And it's only the people that truly want it and truly keep persisting and going that actually make it happen. And
Preach.
That's like my goal in life, to just share that story, to be able to motivate people that are maybe saying, oh, it's too late, I don't want to do that anymore, or like, oh, like I'm not good enough, or, just keep going, keep working, because that's what I did. Yeah.
So if we can talk about, something that is a stigma, a big stigma, and that I'm adamant about talking is mental health, and the importance of being in a good place mentally, as important as it is physically, right? So, in the Latinx community, mental health has a stigma, and especially in the older generations, where even mental health therapy, which I'm an advocate of, and I personally do, is sometimes like in the older generations, kind of they don't understand it, or it's frowned upon, or they're like, no, I don't need that. Yo no necesito eso.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you if we can about that, because I'm sure that your story is one of perseverance, of not quitting. But I'm sure, aside from like the artistic side of it, like how did you manage? What helped you to continue to push forward? What was that for you?
I was actually very against going to therapy. I was always kind of like, I'm gonna get through this on my own. And it's when I started going back to music and started singing and just being able to become a character and not really think about reality that's what helped me. And also something that really, really helped was for me to go visit other people that was going through something, because I was so young.
Yeah.
So I was like, Mom, I want to go to the hospital, because I spent 3 months in the hospital. So in that floor, there was other kids. Maybe someone had a car accident or they got burned. So one thing that I used to do was like walk around the hospital and just talk to everybody, just like, what happened to you? And this is what happened to me. So when I was out of the hospital and back into it, like being able to cover up what was going on, because I was wearing hats all the time. Like I was like hat girl. And everybody and people used to be like, what, are you bald? And I'm like, no. I'm like, yeah. Because I didn't have hair on the top of my head. I had leg skin because I had a skin graft.
Wow.
And that took 10 years. It took 10 years to get it all back.
Wow.
And all those surgeries, because the surgeries took a long time. It wasn't like in and out 3 months. It was like a year treatment of like, they were putting these tissue expanders inside of my scalp and they were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it looked like I had a freaking baseball inside of my scalp.
Wow.
And I had to go through that 4 times. And every time they did it, it was like a year or 2 of treatment. It was really, really crazy.
Wow.
Like, yeah. So I also went through the bullying.
Very inspiring, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm serious.
But like when people talk about bullying, right? And people make videos about don't bully people, like it's great. But a lot of people don't know what it really is to to be bullied, to be in school and be afraid to go to school because you don't want to be made fun of, or kids were so mean to me. It was crazy. Like they would wait for me to walk in school to take off my hat so people could make fun of me.
Wow.
Or they would scream things at me, or they would write things in the bathroom. But it was also funny because like I was always the girl in school that, even though I was going through all of that, I was the leader of the dance crew, and I was like always like putting choreography together, and we were always winning all the talent shows because I was trying to I was crying at home.
Yeah.
Right. And like wanting to die. But then at school, I was like, I don't care that I'm bald and I'm just like superwoman, like super kid.
Yeah.
So I think, and it's funny, like the other day I received a message from a mom, and she said, my daughter was super inspired by your story, and she's getting bullied at school by these girls. And I was like, and then the mom asked me if I could talk to her. And I was like, of course. Like I got on the phone with her for like 30 minutes. And the mom after that said she's never, ever opened up to anyone. She's only told us that she's being bullied, but because she told me, please don't tell my mom. So I wasn't able to like tell the mom what was she being bullied about.
Right.
But it was really nice to like be able to like give someone hope. Because, and I mean, this girl was gorgeous, like 16-year-old, gorgeous girl. She's being bullied by other girls at school that are equally as gorgeous, but it's kind of like this competition of like who's hotter. And like, I think the new generation of teenagers are so obsessed with beauty and like perfection. And it's what social media has created for a lot of us, because even myself, I'm guilty of that. And I think it's important to always go back to being like, wait a minute, like this is so like not the reality.
Yeah.
So that's what I was trying to tell the girl. And I was like explaining to her what people used to do to me. And it was just really, really nice to be able to like connect with a 16-year-old and help them.
You changed her life.
And
I'm sure.
Yeah, so I'm actually meeting her today.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
She's from LA, and I wanted her to come to my video last night, but COVID situations, they didn't allow more people. But
no, that's amazing.
Yeah.
When we say Verizon te da más, we mean it.
La red más premiada ahora incluye Disney Plus, Hulu e ESPN Plus.
Todos pueden tener lo que quieren sin pagar de más.
Y todo desde $35 por línea. The network more people rely on te da más. Cámbiate a Verizon.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that you changed your life. And, it's one of those things that not a lot of people in the entertainment business kind of take a step back and do things for like a bigger picture, bigger than themselves. And that is an example that you do think that way.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. Now, you mentioned social media. How do you deal with the downside of social media? We'll talk about like the good side of it, but like, how do you deal with like, if anytime you run into like a hater or something like that, how do you kind of brush them off?
It's really interesting because I haven't
really encountered
that much like hate.
That's good.
And I don't know if it's because people are relating to my story, and I'm not like on Instagram, I try not to just always be too sexy or too like, it's more about my craft and like slowly growing my socials because of my music, because of my story, and because of like what I am about as a person.
Yeah.
It might seem at times that I'm like all like, but it's just part of, I guess, like my performance aspect. Like when I get in front of a camera and there's music, I just like automatically get like confident.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think that music is just what makes me so confident. And with my Instagram, I think it's that is what makes me like confident, because I'm just like performing.
Yeah.
The label always tells me like, you need to be more like talkative. I'm like, I talk so much. Like I'm really talkative, but like I'm really shy when it comes to like just me being on my phone like that.
Yeah.
Like it's better when there's like this, you know, because there's questions.
Through a plexiglass.
Yeah, but I'm like, hey guys, yeah. I'm trying, but it's like a little hard for me.
Would you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert?
I think I'm an introvert.
Yeah. You know what? I consider myself an introvert. A lot of people say you're crazy, but when the cameras are off and the mics are off, I kind of just like to be to myself.
Yeah. I am very like people are always inviting me to even before COVID, like come to this party, come to that party. I'm like, no. And like, I'm just like, I don't know. Like there's something, I guess I never really grew up with that lifestyle, because when you're a teenager, early 20s, like that's all you do. And I just didn't really have it. So I never wanted it. It's like my parents, when I was younger, they were like, if you want to smoke, if you want to drink, just let me know and I'll just let you try it.
Yeah.
And because they were so open about it and so like do it, I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. Yeah. I think sometimes it's better to just be open with your kids and like tell them like, look, if you want to try this, like, all right, try it. Like with me, not out and about. And I don't know, I guess my parents like taught me well, like, and I just never was interested in any type of drug. Like I'd never had a drug problem, and you would think with everything that happened to me, I would go into like alcohol or like drugs, and it's just another thing that it's important to talk about, because I think a lot of the teenagers and the young generation goes to that, to like forget or like, and it's important to like, no, that's not the answer. Like just your pain needs to be your biggest motivation.
Yeah.
If you're being bullied, if you're suffering from whatever it is that you're suffering, use that pain to actually like tell everyone, stick it, like so that's like my message to everyone.
No, I think it's beautiful. Also a big misconception of the entertainment industry is that everyone does some kind of substance, alcohol or other things, and that's not always the case. I would, years back, I would go to DJ at clubs. I don't drink alcohol at all. Yeah. At all. And you know, it's the
Un
guys.
vinito a veces.
A veces. You know, it's special occasion. They una tequilita. I'll take a shot. The other day we took a shot, and the guys all looked at me like, "What's going on?"
Same. All my friends, every time I have a drink or I'm like in the mood for a cocktail or a mimosa, like, really? I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great message. You know, you don't have to, you know, de vez en cuando, it's cool. You know, but also, you know, you don't have to revert to that if you're going through a difficult time.
Right, exactly.
I want to talk about the pros of social media. I know you're on TikTok, you're on IG. You know, you love to you know, create content. You're a very creative content creator. So, what would you say is your favorite thing about tech, like technology wise? What do you use the most? Like, what apps do you use the most as of now?
I'm really obsessed with PixArt. Like PixArt, like you can just take a photo and like create cool little backgrounds and stuff. Like I've been trying to like just be more creative in that aspect. I think like pros on social media is obviously connecting with other creators and just expanding your brain to be more creative. I actually like have a hard time like posting every day. Like I probably post like every 3 days, every 4 days. Like I have friends that post 3 pictures a day. I'm like, yo, like, that's exhausting. But also for me, it's like important because I don't consider myself like a social media influencer. I'm an influence, but I want to take a different route, right? So I don't want to take a shortcut or you know, I have a lot of friends that are influencers and they all have millions of followers and they do skits and do all the funny stuff, and they're always asking me, come be a part of it, and I'm like, I'm good, you know. And it's because I'm trying to just stay focused in one lane. And even though the process of growing your social media might be slower, I think that when people start to really get to know my music, it's gonna grow because of music, not because of I did a skit with, you know, a big influencer and, oh, that's the girl from the skit.
Right.
So like to me personally, it's important to grow my social media slowly, but with the content that I want to have for longevity, which is my music.
Yeah. So let's talk about the music. The music that you're creating today. What drives you the most? What is pushing you every day? You know, waking up to do music, to create. What fires you? What's that fire inside of you?
Well, again, I mean, like I said, when I was so young, it's the one thing that saved me in a way. And to be able to now do it in a bigger scale and be able to like get ready and like get my costumes ready. And like, to me, performing is like my drug, basically. Like you have no idea what I feel when I'm on a stage. Even yesterday in the video, like performing and dancing and because of like I have this whole background of pain and like wanting this so badly, when I perform, it's like people can feel my passion. Like I think they can truly like connect with me. That's why I miss performing live so much. Because like I did Cali Bash 2 years ago. Yeah. And nobody really knew who Chesca was or anything. I was like barely starting. I had a record with John Z called, no, I didn't. I had a record called Azúcar that I released independently. And it was like the Cali Bash pre-fest outside. And I'm like, oh my God, there's not going to be anyone there because it's early. They ended up moving for last to me. And it was like nighttime. People started coming. Yeah. At the end of the performance, like 40 people was in the back of the you know, backstage screaming my name. Wow. And I'm like, that's crazy because I feel like people truly connect when I perform. They can feel that I'm doing this because it's truly my passion. It's not because like, oh, I just want to be an artist or like I want to be a singer. No, this is like my life. Like there's a bigger motive, not just the music, which I already talked about what's my biggest motive. And it's, you know, to be able to take up my journey and my story and motivate other people. I think people also gravitate towards you because you have that star power. You know, if people see you on stage, they're like, oh, she got it. But it's also because it comes with all that will, that como esas ganas. They want to succeed, you know? So like That's why. Sorry, man. Anyway.
Yeah. So talk to me about your favorite thing about being on a stage.
Definitely the dancing. To me, the dancing and every song I make, I always tell the producers, make sure I can dance. Whether it is a ballad or whether it is like, a reggaeton song or like a more pop song. Because the thing about my music, I'm very like versatile, right? So I can do a ballad, which I did recently called El Cambio. And the song actually became Joe Biden's campaign song.
Wow.
For the Latin community.
Huge.
And, like I'm belting and like it's a very inspiring song. Actually, I would love for people to hear it because it talks about change and it talks about not giving up and it talks about just going for what you want.
Yeah.
And then I can go for the perreo, like the song I did yesterday, Como Tú Me Querías.
Yeah.
We did the remix yesterday with De La Ghetto. So it came out super dope. And then I can do like rock music because I grew up with rock music. So I'm very versatile with my music.
What's your favorite type of genre to do today?
Reggaeton.
Reggaeton?
Yeah. But it's because like now reggaeton has more elements of music.
Yeah.
Right? Before it
was just like the boom.
Reggaeton was
the drums. Yeah.
And it didn't really have a lot.
There's melodies now. There's
now
more.
I think that people can actually really showcase talent through reggaeton. It's a type of music that makes everyone move.
Yeah.
So, and for me, it's perfect. I mean, I'm born and raised in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
So, and that's where reggaeton started.
Yeah.
It's the capital of reggaeton. And it's just really cool to represent Puerto Rico and because we don't have that many females. So it's like really awesome to be able to start being able to represent Latinas, especially in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Who did you grow up in the reggaeton movement? Who did you like grow up like watching, listening to? Obviously a lot of amazing talent that came out of Puerto Rico.
Well, yeah, I mean, I grew up listening to Daddy Yankee, Tego Calderón, Calle 13, Cosculluela. I mean, like, those were the OGs.
Yeah.
Like Arcángel, Plan B.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the guys that kind of started it all.
How is it to now be in the game and connect with some of, they say, with your idols? How what's that feeling like?
Now to be able to do songs with Pitbull and Arcángel and De La Ghetto, and John C. Like it's a awesome feeling because it's like, wow, like as a new artist, I'm in theory been out less than a year, right? Like my music that's been coming, I mean, I've been doing this for years. People don't see, people just see this. It's funny because one hate comment that I did see was, oh, it's so funny that in 2018, Chesca had Azúcar and disappeared and now all of a sudden has songs with the biggest like OGs of the, I wonder what gangster she dating.
Oh my gosh.
and it's like, because then people don't realize and see like the 8 years back struggle. I mean, some people are lucky enough that they,
right.
Instantly, but that's not that many people. Not that many people actually are that fortunate.
Right.
And it's hard to maintain as well. So as an artist, young artist, it's like more pressure. Because like you're 20 years old, 19, and you know that you have to be consistent for a long time. Me, I'm like, I'm like, now, okay, cool. But it's longevity what I'm looking for. It's not just like a one song. So I want to slowly build.
People don't see the hustle, the struggle, the blood, sweat, and tears.
It's crazy.
That goes into it, especially with, someone like yourself, you have been working your butt off. So and it's crazy that you just said, in theory, I've been out for about a year. Like,
it's crazy to think.
It's crazy to think that, right?
When we say Verizon te da más, we mean it.
La red más premiada ahora incluye Disney Plus, Hulu e ESPN Plus.
Todos pueden tener lo que quieren sin pagar de más.
Y todo desde $35 por línea. The network more people rely on te da más. Cámbiate a Verizon.
What today is that big collaboration that you would love to make happen? Let's put it out in the universe.
Well, I am gonna do a song with Bad Bunny. That is 100% happening.
Yes.
100%. He's Puerto Rican. Like I think we would vibe so well together. I've been putting out that in the universe for a long time. Just like I put out in the universe that I was gonna do a song with Pitbull, and we end up doing 4 songs together.
Wow.
Because that's exactly what happened. I was like, I'm gonna work with this guy. And it took a while, but it happened. And I think with Bad Bunny, it's just a matter of time. I do want my next song to have a English feature.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about like Offset or like a Kendrick Lamar. And then I want to have like a Mike Towers or like one of those. You know?
That'd be sick.
So I'm putting out in the universe that that's going to happen as well. If it's not Mike Towers, somebody else, but like an American and a Puerto Rican, hopefully.
That'd be a beautiful thing. Who in the rap game are you a fan of? You mentioned Kendrick. Who do you listen to? Who does Chesca listen to while she's like in the car?
I just put on Spotify and I just listen to everyone. I don't have like a favorite artist. My only favorite artist, and will always be my favorite artist, is
Michael Jackson.
Correct.
Yes. What do I win? What do I win, guys?
That's like the one artist that I will always forever look up to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that he went through all that drama, but in terms of talent and dedication, I think he sets the highest like example of anyone. So, but no, I mean, I love them all. I think everybody has their own flavor. I think everybody's really unique in their own way. So I'm just hoping to work with all of them, and I especially want to work with females.
Yeah,
to me it's a thing because I feel like females don't collaborate too much.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like years back, in reggaeton, and even like in the hip hop game, you didn't see a lot of like women collaborating. It's slowly becoming more of a norm today, which is a great thing to see. Like women empowerment is a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. And I could totally see that.
No, exactly. I've actually reached out to a few Latin artists, and Leslie Shaw, she's from Peru. She was like, let's do it. And it's like that attitude that I'm like, see, that's why you're going to win. Because I think that's why male artists in the reggaeton world, urban, all over, it doesn't matter. They're so successful because you see all these artists doing 10 songs a month, and it's because they're doing collabs. Yeah. So females need to do that, because imagine if people like seeing 5 dudes, you're going to love seeing 5 girls. Yeah. Yes.
That is real. I mean, do you remember, what was it? Was it Lady Marmalade or?
Yeah. We need more of that.
Like, can you a reggaeton version of that would be insane.
I've already thought about that many times, but it's just funny how the girls just don't want to do it.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like something like that can happen. It'd be crazy, for you. Hey, try to make it happen. Put it together.
And it's funny to me to see that, like, girls like Karol G and Nati that are right now so influential in the industry are not doing that. They don't do that. Yeah. And I think like those are the ones that need to start doing that. That way other ones can be like, oh, because like in the United States and like the US, I think female artists collaborate way more. Mm-hmm. Like you see Doja Cat with Bebe Rexha. You see so many like females. Like even Megan Beyonce collaborated with Shakira and J-Lo with Shakira. Because it's a force.
It is.
So hopefully, girls, we gotta unite.
Let's make it happen. That'd be super, man.
When Becky G comes here, tell her Chesca was here and she was talking about you and she really wants to do a song with you and 3 other girls.
Yes. No, we gotta plant that seed for sure. Talk to me about representation. Does it matter? does representation, Latinos in entertainment, does representation matter?
Of course. I think Latinos are doing an amazing job, representing our culture. I think Latinos are super in style.
Yay.
They come in wave. We come in waves. Like remember the wave of Ricky Martin,
Yeah.
La Vida Loca, Hips Don't Lie.
Yep.
And then it kind of died down, and then Despacito happened again.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're back on the map.
Yeah.
I think that has to stop.
The waves have to stop.
I think Latinos and more different ethnicities, like they need to remain, because like I don't know, we're just all cool, and like I think it's incredible to be able to inspire so many people. There's so many Latinos in the United States.
Yeah,
that it's awesome to give them like so much hope. Like damn, like we're killing it.
Yeah, you mentioned these waves. When I think about like 2020, I think about Latinos being more in mainstream content and working with like big brands like J Balvin having a McDonald's collab or a meal, like Bad Bunny doing like it's a lot of crossover now.
Bad Bunny being on the cover of Rolling Stones.
Yeah, that
was the very first.
Yeah,
I believe that he was like from the reggaeton world. That's huge.
I was gonna say Bad Bunny collaborating with Cheetos, hot Cheetos, because I'm a fan of hot Cheetos.
Damn.
But I guess Rolling Stone is a bigger deal than hot Cheetos.
Damn, I want Cheetos now.
So in the coming year for Chesca, where do you see yourself? What is it that you want to do? We want to make that collab with these amazing women that are making music. That collab, we want to do the Bad Bunny collab that will make. I feel like we're gonna look back at this interview in like a couple weeks. And weeks.
Coño.
And be like, what? I remember saying that.
Inshallah, por favor.
Yeah, I sat down with. It's happened many times, by the way. Maybe I'm a good luck charm, but it's happened many times when I've had guests and had conversations, and they're like, oh man, I love to meet. Oh, I love to collab. And it happens.
Stop.
I just had a conversation. The last person was Bia, who's a very talented rapper.
I've heard of her.
Bia, yeah, she's amazing. And Bia, last time I talked to her, she was talking to me about Rihanna. She was like, oh man, so Rihanna posted her song and it went viral.
Oh, wow.
It became a challenge. So when we talked, that had just happened, and I asked her, have you met Rihanna? She's like, no, I haven't. I'd love to make that happen. She said about a week later, she met Rihanna on a plane.
Stop it.
And it's happened many times.
Law of attraction.
So I have a feeling.
I think you're the plug here. I think you're the one that can make this happen.
I'm not saying, but I'm saying.
You got all the girls. Just put us in a room. You want to come to dinner? And then you'd be like, Chesca, you want to come to dinner? And then all of a sudden we're all in the dinner. And we didn't know that we were going to be there.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
we got to make that happen. No, seriously. I could definitely see that happen. So yes, going back to the question, where do you see yourself in the next year, like the next 12 months? What does that look like for you?
Man, well, hopefully COVID-19 will be in the past. And if that happens, please God, then I can just go back on stage and continue to grow as a performer. And, because it's different connection when audience sees you on a record, hears you on a record, then see you and feel you. So, but, depending on how long this goes, I know that Chesca is going to continue to make videos, create content, more songs, more collabs, more songs on the radio. The Kiddo Baby's number 2 right now. So we're fighting for that number 1 spot. It's a very radio friendly song. I want to do more songs that are more streaming friendly and more like targeting a very young audience. So like now with the stuff I'm doing, that's what we're excited about. the whole like urban vibes and more trap music. It speaks to me more. You know, again, I told you I'm versatile. That's why Te Quiero Baby and then Como Tú Me Querías are two different sounds. But like this more badass, like, you know, more confident vibe. And obviously reggaeton, Puerto Rican. I think that's what really defines and you know, Chesca, who she is.
Yeah.
And it just shows. Like, you'll see, like, in the videos, like, if you see Cara de Buena with Arcángel, like, you can tell, like, she's, like, it's my personality.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited to continue to grow in that lane.
A song like Te Quiero Baby, which is, like you said, it's blown up. How does a song like that happen? How does it come about? Like, are you listening to the beat? Are you in the studio? Or is it like bouncing off ideas? Like how does that happen?
So interesting story. No Me Trates. Remember that song, Nati? So that was my record. So I was in the session with them. I co-wrote a lot of the stuff. And I was like, Pid, this is the record. This is the record. And we were having problems with clearance with El General, because, you know, that's a General song. And it took about 1.5 years to get that clear. And by the time that happened, I went through like changes with labels and like a lot of stuff happened in between. But Pitt and the team had showed it to Daddy Yankee. And Daddy Yankee was like, I want to get Nati. So of course, as a new artist, it's and I understand, because I'm a businesswoman, that sometimes it's not going to work out and you just have to wait for your time. But it's funny because so I was like, I need to make a song that has that vibe, because I really like that song. And I used to love that General song, that No Me Trates.
Yeah. No me trates mal.
Yeah.
No so me trates de engañar. Sorry, I had a moment.
Exactly. So back in the studio with the Pitbull camp, I'm like, we need to do an interpolation. And one of the guys is like, oh, we should do like that Lauryn Hill, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. But in reality, it was a Frankie Valli song. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. But let's do it in Spanish. And that's how the whole Te Quiero Baby situation happened. And then months later, Surf Mesa comes out with the I Love You Baby remix. And we were like, and then like, I was like, Pid, this is the song. Because it gave me the vibes of No Me Trates.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a very commercial song. It's a song that a 3-year-old likes and a 75-year-old my grandmother likes.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, I think it's a very wide range, but I know that the young generation and the teenagers, they love urban music.
For sure.
And that's why I'm like, this is perfect, because I love Te Quiero Baby. I love the vibe. It makes me feel good. But then I can also be a badass and connect with my teenagers and my early 20 peoples.
Yeah.
And then just like, you know, and it's all a happy family.
Yeah.
Because then Chesca can do it all.
Yeah.
So
it's beautiful.
I'm just excited. I'm very excited to keep growing in the urban lane and continue to do these more like commercial.
Hey.
When we say Verizon te da más, we mean it.
La red más premiada ahora incluye Disney Plus, Hulu e ESPN Plus.
Todos pueden tener lo que quieren sin pagar de más.
Y todo desde $35 por línea. The network more people rely on te da más. Cámbiate a Verizon.
No, I'm excited for you, and I'm excited to have you here as well.
Thank you so much.
Before we finish up here today, I got some rapid fire questions with Chesca.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a handful of questions here. You can answer them as fast as you can, but if you want to go into detail as to why you chose that, some are options like this or that. You know, some are, you know, maybe some new facts about you. So if you want to, you know, kind of explain some of your answers, you can.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Rapid fire with Chesca. Favorite Spanish word?
Pun.
I don't know. We're gonna have to bleep that one.
Here's the thing, is that word can be a lot of good things, right? It's a very Puerto Rican word, but it could be so many good things.
It's one of those words. It's not what you say. It's how you say it, right?
Exactly. But I also love Ay Dios mío.
Ay Dios mío.
So those two are my favorite too.
Favorite salsa song?
Favorites, La India.
La India. Amazing. Speaking of salsa, you're in LA. You lived here for a while. Green or red salsa?
Green.
Biggest celebrity crush growing up?
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake, JT. the curly hair JT. Favorite Spanish show of all time? It could be a novela too, by the way.
Las Soñadoras.
Las Soñadoras. I gotta check that one out.
Soñadoras, yeah. And Rebeldes. Those two were my favorite shows.
Rebelde? Yeah, Rebelde was epic.
Y El Chavo del Ocho.
Oh, man. El Chavo del Ocho is one of my favorite
My
shows.
grandma used to watch that every single day, so I just always watched it with her.
We went to Brazil for the World Cup, and my dad was wearing a Mexico jersey wherever he went. Very proud, Mexicano. And in Brazil, it's a very popular show. I had no idea. Wherever we went walking in Brazil, people were yelling, El Chavo, El Chavo.
So funny.
So I love El Chavo as well. Favorite Latinx food dish? Enchiladas.
But that's before I went vegan. Now I like quesadillas.
Oh. How about enchiladas de queso, maybe?
Nice. Yes.
Have you tried
Can we go to a Mexican restaurant after this? Okay.
Yeah, let's make that happen.
I haven't had anything to eat since last night, since 12 noon yesterday.
24 hours ago. Wow.
I'm fasting.
What's one of your nicknames that no one knows about?
Am I gonna say it?
I mean, it's in the rapid fire. I think you have to.
My parents call me Afu.
What is it?
Afu.
Afu?
Yeah, Afu.
¿Por qué?
I don't know. Afu. Yeah,
Since when?
My dad always.
Maybe it's a word that you used to say when you were a baby or something?
Yeah.
Afu.
And it just kept,
That's
ahora
cute.
de grande ya también me dicen Afu.
Afu. Something you're horrible at.
Something I'm horrible at. Playing basketball. I'm horrible.
Best song to play at a Latinx party.
Jay Wheeler, Curiosidad. Rosalía con Travis Scott, porque va a bailar.
Hey.
J Balvin, Mi Gente.
Mi Gente gets it going.
I'm telling you songs I would dance to. Yeah, those three.
Lastly, as a singer yourself, a very talented one, who is the best singer of all time?
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston. Amazing. Thank you so much.
And Mariah Carey. If you go back to her videos and you watch her sing, no auto-tune, nothing. And she's so flawlessly effortless. It's crazy. Crazy. Go watch her.
Yeah, I was listening to Mariah Carey's song the other day, and I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like,
it's insane.
Mariah,
so effortless. She's like those unplugged shows that she does, incredible.
Well, Afu, I want to thank you for being here today.
Me quedé Afu.
Chesca, go and check her out. Follow her. Amazing singer. And please do yourself a favor. If you aren't familiar, get familiar. And is there anything you would like to share with your fans before we go?
Well, I just want to say for the people that support me, thank you so, so much. It means the world. For those who don't know me and are getting to know me because of you guys, thank you. My Instagram is IamChescaPR. And I hope you guys like my music and keep growing with me. Also, sorry for talking so much. I know I talk por los codos. Habla hasta por los codos la mujer esa. But I'm excited. I get excited when I share my story. But anyway, thank you so much. Thank you guys for your time. And yeah.
Chesca, Mando Fresco, and thank you so much for watching and listening to Mando and Friends presented by Verizon.
Woo!